Welcome back to Clean Tech Talk. Today, we are looking down, way down.
All right, at the floor.
Exactly. We're doing a deep dive into the surprisingly complex and high-stakes world of commercial floor maintenance. I've been reading through this technical analysis on A-lith floor scrubbers alongside some pretty heavy data from the Journal of Building and Environment, and I have to say I will never look at a tiled floor the same way again.
Right, because we were talking about that silent battle against the nemesis of hygiene everywhere, dirty grout.
Dirty grout, it sounds so mundane, right?
It does until you realize what is actually happening in those microscopic spaces between the tiles. We aren't just talking about aesthetics here. I mean, we are talking about a literal biohazard. The source material uses this aeolic technology as a case study to show how mechanized cleaning completely challenges the traditional physics of the mop and bucket.
And that physics part, that's where the mopping paradox really clicked for me.
Mhm.
The sources describe traditional mopping less as cleaning and more as, well, redistribution.
Yeah, that is a very polite way of putting it. Think about the actual structure of grout. It is porous. It's essentially a hard sponge. So when you run a wet mop over a floor, you are creating this slurry of dirt, grease, and bacteria.
And you just push it right in.
Exactly. Gravity and capillary action take over, and you are effectively pushing that slurry deep into the grout lines.
So in an effort to clean the tile, you are literally feeding the grout.
You are compacting the dirt. The water evaporates, sure, but the grime stays trapped.
And this is where that Journal of Building and Environment study drops a pretty shocking number. They found that mechanized scrubbing, specifically utilizing the technology in these A-lith units, removes up to 70% more embodied dirt compared to manual mopping.
70%.
Right. 70% is a massive statistical gap. I had to double check that figure. Is that just, surface level?
No, it's deep extraction. That 70% represents dirt that manual mopping physically cannot reach. And the implications of leaving that dirt behind are serious. We are talking about breeding grounds for mold and bacteria, which is a total compliance nightmare if you're in healthcare or food service.
Oh, definitely.
Plus, the Health and Safety Executive, the HSE, they explicitly list greasy grout as a leading cause of workplace slip and fall accidents.
Because once the grout is full, the grease just sits on top.
Exactly.
So the sources turned to mechanized alternatives to see if they fared any better. They analyzed data coming from these A-lith units to see if mechanized scrubbing actually solves that porosity issue. What makes a machine in the $4,000 to $6,000 range capable of doing what a human arm just can't?
It really comes down to the engineering of the contact point. The analysis highlights this specific challenge called the bristle-to-pore ratio. Standard cleaning pads often just bridge right over the grout lines. But the aeolift design uses specialized, stiff, vertical bristles that physically agitate the recess.
So they are excavating the pore rather than just wiping the surface.
Yes, excavating is the perfect word.
That makes sense. But if you're digging that hard, aren't you worried about, destroying a floor?
Well, that is why the variable pressure adjustment is critical here. The study notes you need high force to dislodge the grime, but you have to dial it back to protect the substrate. Honestly, though, the agitation is only half the battle. The real game changer in the report is the suction.
Right, because of the slurry issue we mentioned earlier. If you don't suck it up.
It just settles back in. Precisely. Immediate extraction is key. The machine puts down clean solution, agitates it, and then vacuums that dirty water instantly. It breaks the whole cycle of reabsorption.
I also noticed the report touched on the eco-dosing system. It seems like a smart way to remove human error from the chemical equation.
It is. The system optimizes water and chemical use, which reduces waste by about 40%. That aligns with ECA standards perfectly. But practically speaking, it just means operators aren't glugging expensive chemicals down the drain.
Speaking of expensive, let's get into the economics. Because for a facility manager, swapping a $50 mop for a machine that costs thousands is a pretty tough pitch to the CFO.
On the surface, yeah. But the analysis breaks down the cost of not cleaning. You have to look at labor. Manual scrubbing is incredibly slow and physically exhausting. The data suggests that for a large facility, labor costs for manual cleaning can hit upwards of $60,000 annually.
That's a staggering number just for cleaning floors.
It's the time intensity. A person with a mop covers very little square footage per hour if they're actually scrubbing. A machine moves at walking pace but scrubs thousands of square feet per hour. The operational cost drops to between $25,000 and $30,000.
Wow, so you're having the labor bill.
You are buying time. The ROI analysis shows businesses typically see a full return on investment within 18 to 24 months. After 2 years, the machine has paid for itself and you are just banking those labor savings.
All while having floors that don't harbor a hidden bacterial ecosystem?
And that is the big takeaway. It is not just about the floor looking shiny. It is about hygiene, safety compliance, and long-term asset preservation.
It really challenges the whole definition of clean. If mopping leaves 70% of the dirt behind, it makes you wonder about the environments we exist in every day.
It raises a very important question for everyone listening.
What's that?
Next time you walk into a building that smells like bleach but looks a little dingy, ask yourself, what is actually lurking in the floors you're walking on?
That is a terrifying thought to leave us with. And as a special thank you to our listeners, you can now enjoy 10% off your next purchase at Aolith. Just use the promo code AOLITH2026 at checkout. That's AIOLITH 2026. Don't miss out.